I've got a hold of it. That's funny. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the practice graduate succession. I'm laughing because I'm talking to Larry here, and I just got caught. I just got a big downpour, and you can see I'm soaking wet, and I had to run out real fast because I came back from my run a little while ago, and I forgot to cover up my car, so I just heard lightning and stuff, so I had to run out there real quick and do this. So I'm grateful that Larry is here. Everybody's all set. So good morning. Thank you, everybody, for coming here today. Welcome, Terry. Welcome, Jackson. Welcome, Chris. Larry, again, thank you. Welcome, Craig. Welcome, Len. Everybody, thank you so much for coming here today. Man, it's so nice to be warm and snug. No, I'm not warm and snug. I'm soaking wet here. Wow. So, Larry, thank you so much for coming here today. This is such a pleasure. I'm really happy to learn a little bit about you today. Now, as we get going here, what I'm gonna probably go away for a second as we get going, and I'm gonna change my shirt because listen, you can hear this. That's cold wet on my body.
Try.
I'll go put a tie on like you and Jackson.
There you go. It's my trip. It's my ode to Jackson. I got a tie on today.
So you're trying to be like Jackson Kelly here today, huh?
I don't have the cufflinks, so I got short sleeves, and I have gym shorts on. I'm not sure if Jackson's wearing gym shorts.
I was talking to Larry beforehand. I said if I had cuffs like that, I would probably get everything that I ate. I would get caught. And I would get stuff all over ketchup and what have you. Hi, Christi. Hi, Craig. Welcome. Thank you for coming here today, guys. Man, so Larry, I know you said you wanted to share you had a recent trip down to Florida. You went to the Mastermind with Ray.
Yeah, I'm in Ray Higdon's Mastermind, and one of the things that we do monthly trainings, and one of the best, this guy tops it all the time. And one of the biggest Ray does. You thought he couldn't top it the last training he did. He does it better. One of the things he talked about is setting goals, and everybody, sets a goal and they want to. In fact, Asante, I don't even know what the levels are. Jackson's you guys gonna have to fill me in, But if you want to be triple diamond, cool guy, everybody sets a goal like that. That people never break down what they have to do to get it done. And he says, okay, so you have to recruit 80 more people for the year to reach this goal. Break it down by how many people a month you have to recruit. And then you have to break it down to how many people a day do you have to talk to and get your plan in front of. Is it because let's say you're closing at 4%. That means how many people do you have to talk to reach your goal of 4%? But he says people set so many. He goes, if you want to lose 50 pounds in a year, well, you have to break that. You can break that down to 1 pound a week. He says, and set your goals that you can attain them. Set them to the point where you know that you can attain them, and once you attain them, celebrate it. Don't just say, well, he was saying something that if you just been in network marketing 3 years, and you recruited your first person. Well, it took me this long. It took me this long to get going. He says, no, bullshit. Celebrate that. Hit every goal that you hit for yourself. Celebrate. But the most powerful thing of that is that he told me that made me, sit back and aghast. He goes, if you don't, constantly you set goals for yourself, goals for you to do. If you don't hit those goals, then what you're doing is you're disrespecting yourself. And once you start disrespecting yourself, that becomes a habit. And if you cannot respect yourself, if you cannot be a leader to yourself, how are you going to expect anybody else to do the same thing? And I thought that was a very, very powerful thing. He said that when, most everybody knows Ray's story. He was a real estate investor, and he went in foreclosure in like 8 or 9 properties at once. And it was just devastating. But he said that his vision, the biggest thing, one of the biggest things that we have to work on is our vision. Where do we want to be? How are we going to get there? Are we willing to do the work? He said his vision was so powerful that it pulled him away from all the distractions that they have. They can come up and stop him. And he was unstoppable. He goes, I don't know if you saw the video he put out there, but he said that he had teeth like a tiger, that he was not going to stop eating until he reached his goal. So, but that's the one thing that I took away from it, is setting smaller goals that you can attain. You're not going to recruit if you haven't been in the gym in 5 years. What makes you think you're going to go to the gym 5 days a week? And do that. And for me now, I took that earlier. I started in November because my knees are trashed, but I've been retired 4 years and I have basically done nothing, physical and stuff like that. And I realized for me, it was getting to the point where every time I walked somewhere, I had to think about it. Oh my God, I parked so far away. I have to go to a store and walk around, or holy Jesus, there's stairs over there. Can I find an elevator?
Right.
So that is, to me, that was different. And so I started, it's so funny because I went to a water aerobics class and I was one of the youngest people in there.
Oh, is that right? Really?
Yeah. So I'm thinking, how hard can this be?
I did one. I know what it's like.
This instructor beat the bejesus out of us. It was so funny. And she was the first one. She's Tuesdays and Thursdays. She's the most intense one. But then I'm thinking, how are these old people doing this? I'm laughing because I was dying. But I realized everybody's doing what they can. But right. it is just that, what, if I have to get a new knee down the road, my legs are going to be stronger, and my knee and all the muscles around the knee are going to be much stronger. And now I started that in December or end of November. And I can notice it now. I'm starting now to be able to walk up and down stairs without having to hold on and worry about it. I told one of my sons last week, I got to get to the point where I can walk without thinking, and I'm getting there. It's going to take a while, but I'm going to get there.
That's awesome. Hey, Larry, so you said you retired just like about 4 years ago. What did you do? What kind of work were you doing?
Oh, I was a tech for AT&T. I retired from AT&T. Okay. I was construction, splicing manholes. I started splicing manholes or cables in the manholes and up in the air. I was a repairman for a long time, cable repairman and house repairman. And when I retired, I was working on the high-speed circuits and the fiber optic stuff.
Oh, okay. Wow. So you're getting into high-tech stuff.
Yeah.
How long did it take you before you started learning all of that stuff? Was that something they taught you as you went along?
They taught us as we went along, yeah. And like for splicing and stuff, I mean, I knew nothing about tools. There were some old timers in there that, busted my. I remember one guy, he told me the first day I worked with him, I'm going to make you quit today. You're going to quit this goddamn job today. And if you don't, you're going to remember this day for the rest of your life.
No kidding.
And I did. But I eventually, I got crap from these guys, a lot of them. But then I learned a job. And the guy who was the hardest on me told me, he said, you didn't back down from everything I threw at you, and he said, and then I knew you were committed.
Right. Was that his purpose then, just to see if you were committed enough to keep going?
Oh yeah. Yeah. He actually has made people quit. He scared them. But he realized he wasn't going to waste his time training somebody if they weren't going to be around,
Right.
If they thought the work was too hard.
Right. Interesting. That's really something. Wow.
Yeah, but it was, you couldn't do that today. There was the famous story. There was a boss who hated this one old timer.
Mm-hmm.
So the lineman, the guys that sets the poles and hang the cable,
right.
They say him out. He gave the old man the harder job, and then the young guy gave him the easier job. The foreman leaves, and the old man goes, "No, it's not going to happen. I'm doing this, and you're doing that." And he goes, right. And the kid goes, "No. The boss said to do this." This old man walked up to him, punched him right in the mouth, knocked him down, and he goes, "Do you understand how it's going to work now?"
It's called on-the-job training, huh?
It's called on-the-job beatings. Yeah.
The old school way of doing things.
Oh my God, yeah. But you'd be arrested now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's so many things that you couldn't do, but that's just how things change, and not just work environment, but in life in general. Back in those, years ago, people could do like what you did, get a job, stay there for a lot of years, retire. But these days, those options aren't available for people anymore these days.
None of my kids will. I was 55 years old. I was on a job 36 years.
Wow.
They'll never be on a job 36 years.
No. Mm-mm.
My oldest son is looking to get into police department or fire department, but even if he stays to the end, he won't be on a job that long.
Right.
And so many people switch jobs today. It's just it's a whole different world.
Well, there just isn't that many jobs available that are going to offer that kind of stability anymore. If you're working for a company or something, they're going to close up, they're going to move to a different country or someplace. There just isn't that stability anymore. So people need to learn new ways of doing things. But
for me, I was so entrenched. This was a hard transition for me. I'd say for the first 5 or 6 months of retirement, I started to get involved a little of this stuff. That I hated retirement at first. I love it now. I'm busy. I keep myself busy, but I hated it. I'm coming from a structure. I'm used to connecting with people.
Right.
And to me, I realized how much time I waste in a day. I was, TV was my friend. And the old joke was that we were all going to drink ourselves to death within 5 years.
And a lot of people did. They're not here anymore.
A friend of mine that wasn't that big a drinker actually did that. And I was like, oh my God. And but you know what? Like, I'm so grateful. I have so much gratitude of being in this group that things change, I'm a father of 4, and it's they changed my life. And I'm hoping I can, show them, give them a vision, now of what things to do, it's
yeah. Like you said, things are different these days. There has to be a new way. So you're sort of like you're trailblazing for them at this point.
Because everybody I worked with or are still on a job thinks I'm crazy.
Really?
Oh yeah. And now because Mycle Mobile, my one company, kind of went away, and I started driving last year for Lyft and Uber.
Oh, really?
Part-time. And you know what? It was just amazing to me because it helps me connect with people.
Okay.
And it's just a great, I don't even consider it a job. I'm going to go driving, and I love to drive, and it helps me connect. You know what it does? It helps me. I'm able to draw people's stories out of them.
Okay. Wow.
And it's, get them to talk about, and some of the stories are pretty fun.
Of course, yeah. It's amazing. Are you still doing that now, Larry?
I still do it now, not as much as I was before, but
okay.
I still last week I couldn't do it too much, but Saturday night I was out from about 8 o'clock at night till I drove till 4:45 in the morning. Wow. Not because I had to, it was because I was having fun.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, can you actually make money, or does it offset your expenses?
You can, but you have to work it. What you have to do is probably work 60, 70 hours a week, maybe. You have to be in the area where you're working. I talked to one guy who works 70 hours a week.
Wow.
He knows where all the surges are, and he knows how to work them. And he is probably making, upwards of $7,000 a month or more.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
So if you want to work that much, but you know what? My days of overtime and working that much are done.
Right. Exactly. So what brought you into the home base arena? What got you doing that?
Real estate. I wanted to become a real estate mogul. I wanted to own apartment buildings. That was how I was going to pay for my kids' colleges.
Right.
and and I bought apartment buildings, and here's how I negotiate for apartment buildings. I did this stuff. I figured it out how to do it. I said, okay, I'll buy the buildings at this price. And the guy goes, yeah, but I need this price, which was full price. Okay. So
you would buy it?
I bought it. Oh. I bought it. And I didn't realize that when I'm getting the mortgage is the rents barely covered the mortgage. And then all the expenses and stuff. And then I went to a company. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, Nouveau Riche. And it's real estate education. And it was an MLM too. But I didn't know it. But I brought people into that. They wanted nothing. It was a high-end ticket, 20 grand.
Wow. People
didn't want it. And I bought the bill. And I got the education before I bought the buildings. I never would have bought them. But you live and learn, and so that's what, like, now people think my MLM stuff is like that. So that's just where I got to start over, And it's funny because with Asante, this is really my first true MLM. So this is all new learning curve for me also.
Yeah. Have you had a chance to get in any of the products yet?
No, but I think I'm going to get into the greens. I've got stuff from.
I want to show that. Here's the greens right here, and I just want to show this little scoop right here is all you need. It's got I feel like a commercial. 5.5 pounds of organic super greens in this little scoop. So it's really pretty cool stuff.
But I still have somebody got me in this company called Isogenics. Did you ever hear of it?
No, never heard of that company.
And I still have leftover stuff that I'm finishing up. I'm probably going to do the stuff for the weight loss because I am working on, besides my knees and stuff, I am, but it's pretty funny now. It's a much different time,
Right.
From my wife, we had one kid and then my wife had triplets. So that was a wild time, We used to have what we called high chair row. We had 3 high chairs. And
wow!
I used to feed babies like a deal in cards.
Jeez. Good gosh.
And it's pretty funny because we did it. My in-laws came over during the day, but at night it was her and I.
Wow!
And we survived.
Amazing.
Somebody asked me, "Did you have all your neighbors?" Somebody else said they knew they had triplets. They had all the neighbors come in and they had color-coded feeding schedules. I said, "No." She goes, "Well, who helped you?" "Well, we did it ourselves."
Wow, that's amazing.
And it was, but you know what? They're 24. They're all good kids.
Wow.
My life right now is a little complicated, but you know what? The best thing we did was we made 4 good people.
That's cool.
So
that's amazing.
And I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, I didn't know you had triplets. I didn't know that.
Yeah, plus an older one.
Okay, so two girls and a boy.
2 girls and a boy are triplets, and the oldest one is a boy.
Okay, wow, that's pretty cool. And they're 20 and they're 24 right now.
Yeah, and my oldest is 28.
Okay.
So
are you all living at home?
My sons do. My one daughter's in med school, and the other one's in grad school in North Carolina.
Oh, no kidding. How wonderful.
Yeah. So this is my one daughter has she's got to apply for residencies next year, and she's just freaked out about money because it's so expensive. And I told her, I said, "Well, don't worry, because I'll be covering all your flights and all your places.
That's
you just concentrate on school."
That's super cool, Larry. That's totally cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So you went to this mastermind with Ray Higdon. This is down in Florida.
Yeah.
Is this a high ticket item that you go to?
Oh, well, it is. It's like a mini. It's a mini weekend. This is separate from the mastermind, although the masterminders get in there free. But what it is I don't know if you've ever seen his Top Earner Academy. It's like No Excuses. Right. Or Live the Dream, but these are smaller events, and people. Last one I think cost $20 or $1,800, but the masterminders got it free. The mastermind tickets, it's a high-end ticket.
Now, is that the one that costs like $50,000? Which one costs?
There's one part of this mastermind costs $50,000.
Okay,
and that's the one Larry wasn't writing a check for.
Right.
But they'll also help you. I mean, for the part of the 50 grand is you get extra training, you get extra calls with them and a day at their house to work on it. But they help you create products, and work at a congruent where they'll put it out to their list that I think is 120,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to help you launch your product and make sure that you're doing what you want to do. Ours is 18. It's still good.
1,800.
18 grand.
18 grand. Okay.
Yeah, for the year.
Okay.
And the one main mastermind, actually the first one was in Florida. The second one this year, they're doing something different. The second major mastermind thing is we're going on a cruise in May.
Okay.
So that ought to be a 5-day cruise. It should be very interesting.
So you're always hanging around with people. I mean, it's pretty cool because I was just recently. I think I was with Len. Len was up here, and I had to go to Walmart for something, and he was out. He was out there waiting in his van for me, and I was as I was standing in line. I was just looking around. And I'm thinking, and I was feeling the energy of Walmart. I'm thinking, I'm watching the people walk by, and I'm not blasting anybody who goes to Walmart. They get cheap things, but I just felt the energy of Walmart, and it was like people walk with their heads down, and it just had like a low energy feel to it. And I remember explaining that to Len, talking about this Walmart energy, and then looking at a place. If you go to like a mastermind or something where you're surrounded by people who are talking about success every single day, their mind is focused on how to succeed. What a difference that is.
You know what? And Ray's biggest thing is, he's always talking about you are the people you hang around with.
Exactly.
But it's what Ray says is invest in yourself, learn it, and then teach it.
Apply it.
And other people are. He is ILT, but some people put a D in there. And first, invest, learn, do, and then teach.
Len just came up with something like that. He came up with the D or the A for the X. But exactly, you have to do it. There's people there's a lot of people who just want to continuously learn all the time. They go to webinar to webinar and they never apply it because they think they're not good enough or whatever. Does he address that?
He does huge shiny object syndrome. But Ray says that you go to these events, you take notes. If you're not shooting videos on those notes or doing blog posts on those notes, they're useless. He calls the books your uncashed checks.
Right, I heard him say that.
Because his biggest thing is they get leads from blog posts. They did. We quit Walmart. He said 5-6 years ago we get leads from blog posts we did then.
Wow.
And he says it's if you're writing something down or recording something, and not doing a blog on it or a video, he goes, you're crazy. It's just a waste of time. Why are you even going there? And I agree with him now. You're
gonna forget it just after a few minutes later. You're gonna get some other information that's gonna come into your brain. You're gonna forget it. So now a blog. And he sends everything to his blog, right? Like all his videos, everything goes.
Yeah, he does everything. And what he does now is with Periscope. Ray does a Periscope on Fridays. He asks 4 questions. One at a time, or people ask him questions, and he answers it. He does that's how he does his Periscope. And what he does after the Periscope, he sends it to catch.me. And then I don't know if you guys know Nick Hobner. He used to be with Ray Fernie. He works with Ray now. He takes it, he edits it, all 4 questions into 4 videos.
Really?
And then they send it out somewhere else. Each video gets transcribed for a blog post. And then all Ray does is come in, he edits the transcription, to what he wants, cuts it down, and that's how he gets 4 blog posts a week.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. How could somebody apply something like that without the resources that he has?
Well, you could, the biggest thing for me is, which I'm starting to learn now, is you guys use, what do you guys use? What's it called? Your video editor. You can cut it in half. You can do ask questions, or you can come up with a theme. If I do a Periscope, I just do it on one theme. I'm not to the point, but you can edit your own videos. I mean, you guys do it, right? I see every day your practice gratitude success video. You edit that, and you can cut it down. If you do 4 different subjects, you can make 4 different videos. and edit it 4 different times. I mean, to me, that's the way it is. And you know what? He says that it's $1. It costs them like to get each video transcript like $5.
Is that right? Wow, that's not much.
And it's they're real quick. Or maybe it's $7 or whatever. But it's amazingly quick. And Ray's theory on that is, instead of you watching it and then writing it down and watching it right, you're wasting time.
Right.
You can get recruiting or helping somebody else doing that. Pay somebody who can do it professionally and do it like that, and then get it back to you.
However, at the very beginning, when you have like very low resources, it's probably a good idea to learn those sort of things anyway.
It is. Well, his biggest thing, your vision is you gotta work on your vision every day. You've got to get your vision so big that the pain pulls you until your vision is pushing you.
Right.
But he says to his path to growth, to massive growth was he learned a different skill every year, and a different skill that he thought was hard. He learned it, he worked on it, and it pushed him. Yeah, that's right, Len. It's $1 a minute. But his vision pulled him. He said he wasn't going to be as distracted to do this. But he said that until he learned skills he didn't know he had, right, that he could do until it raised him up and raised his level. He said, it's funny, he goes, between 2012 and 2013, he had made a big jump between 11 and 12, a huge jump, like quadrupled or more.
11 and 12 what?
Years between 2011 and 2012. Okay. He made a huge, but then between 2012 and the beginning of 2014, 2012 and 2013, he really didn't grow anymore. And that drove him crazy.
Really? Until
he learned different systems and how to do different things, His vision now is he's going to have a $120 million a year company. He says he has no idea how he's going to get there, but they're going to do it. And that's amazing. And I love it. He's an amazing guy.
Yeah, so important to hang around with people like that. Now, let me ask you a question. In the space that we're in, there's a lot of information from a lot of different sources.
Yeah,
you got Twitter training, you got this training, you got all these different things. Does he talk about focusing on maybe one strategy,
one or two,
one person?
Yeah, his main focus is blogging, but he said you got to pick something. He's pick one thing, and his thing he pushes, he recommends is blogging. He goes, it's not going to be, it's not going to be take off like rockets right away.
Right. But
he goes, work on it, and video. I mean, his biggest thing is he rarely ever does a blog without a video on there. Okay. But you have to do it, and you have to work on it. And it's the biggest. His biggest thing is, like Robert Hollis now just joined the Mastermind in January.
Yeah.
So, and he sits there and he goes, I don't care if somebody next to you has generated 2 million leads. You've generated your first 5, celebrate it and do that. And you start, no matter what little goal, like somebody else said earlier, baby steps. You got to do it and celebrate it, and then you're going to keep going.
Right.
If you worry about that, I should be farther along. You should be farther along. Probably everybody, all of us should be farther along right by now. But I'm making the progress the way I know how, and it's stuff actually within the last, I would say 5 weeks or so, stuff is becoming much more clear to me. I'm having fun.
Great stuff. Yeah. Stop comparing yourself with other people, huh? Just do what you can do and make sure, as long as your arrows are going up.
That's right.
In the right direction. That's awesome stuff, Larry. I really appreciate you sharing these things. Are you going to charge us for this information here today?
Nah, just you see me. Let's have a beer.
So do you have your own blog out there, Larry?
I do.
Okay. So how can people get a hold of you?
Oh yeah, people can get a hold of me. Just go to LarryJoeRyan.com.
Okay.
Larry Ryan was what it cost me about $40,000 to get. LarryRyan.com. So I had to throw in the middle name.
Yeah, that's like finding a Bob Miller.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Boy, I'm Bob Miller's success.
I see why Chris Schaus picked her name, because it's unique.
Right. Schaus in the house.
But those Irish Catholics overbreeding and we're naming people the same damn name.
Well, there's only 10 in my family. How many did you have in your family growing up?
Oh, we were only at 7.
7? Yeah, you're on the low end.
Yes.
Okay,
Right.
so Larry Joe Ryan is the way to get in touch with you then.
Yes.
Larry Joe, okay, cool, awesome. Well, Larry, I'm so happy that you came into, because we didn't really have a chance to really get into it much. Would you be willing to come back again sometime real soon?
I'll be honest. I had no idea what the hell I was going to talk about for a half hour.
I just knew you had some amazing value to share, and plus we learned a little bit about you, which is what it's so cool to do that, to learn a little bit about yourself. I didn't know you had triplets. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's totally awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. You know what? We survived each other, and the only thing is, if you see that picture you put up with me with the 4 kids by the bus,
right?
That was at a White Sox game.
Okay.
And the sad part is all 4 of my kids are drinkers, but they're not all really, have money with them, So, hey, Dad, we want some more beer.
In other words, you have to pay for that money. Hey, before we go, I wanted to share one thing. A friend of mine, Claire Coombs, she lives locally. She dropped off this here. She does it every couple of days. This is pink jasmine. My house now smells so nice. She picks it, and I just put it in a little bowl of water. It smells so nice. It just smells so good. Just this whole place. It smells like perfume.
I forgot one thing. Today I have all odes to Jackson. So.
Oh, okay. You got the whole Jackson thing going. You got to get
my USA football hat. My floppy hat for football games.
you got to get a black hat and go on his Friday Night Live show and get the black glasses like Chris Schaus and do that too.
I should.
That's cool. Well, Larry, thank you so much. So Larry Joe Ryan is a way to get in touch with you.
Yep.
And you will come back again to finish up this conversation, because there's so much that you could add that's gonna. I mean, I pick up a lot of nuggets here just today. I'm gonna listen to the replay of this and for sure, because you did a lot of really cool stuff. Well, thank you so much, Larry. I really appreciate you coming here today. And I thank all the guests for coming.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Tomorrow, I have somebody that is not like in our circle of people that we know. It's a fellow named Fantastic Frank Johnson. Now, I've heard of this fellow before. Now, Fantastic Frank Johnson is I think he, I don't know if he lives up where you live in Chicago. I don't know where he lives, but he got actually caught in a fire years ago. And so because of that, he suffered, I guess with the asphyxiation, he suffered brain injury. He's a brain injury survivor. His speech is affected quite a bit, but he's into, I think he's an author. He's written books. He speaks. He goes out and he does speaking tours, and he's into different businesses. But he's gonna have an incredible story to tell. So I'm really looking forward to learning more about him. Fantastic Frank Johnson. So make sure if you get a chance, come in and check him out tomorrow. It should be a really interesting show. Cool.
Okay, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks again.
Sure what I was going to talk about. Thanks.
We'll see everybody. We'll talk to you later on. Bye.
Bye.